Hello everybody, welcome to JD's Journeys. My name is JD and today I have a great retro book review for you. I've been anxiously waiting until I got to this book. Really excited about this one because I adore this book. I really love it. And it is this one, The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien. And it's edited by his son, Christopher. This book is an interesting one because it's not a novel. It's actually mainly just Tolkien's notes for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. But Tolkien has actually said that this is his greatest work. So there's a lot of information in here. A lot of his research was actually put into this book. And that includes languages. He also does a lot of history and mythology and all that kind of stuff that goes in this. I guess you could say this is the Bible of Middle-earth. It's a book of mythology and history. This book comes in several different sections. Of course, there's a foreword, preface, and a letter by Tolkien. Also, the five main parts are Ainulindale. I'm not sure if that's correct pronunciation, but that's my attempt. Vala Quenta, Quenta Silmarillion, Akalabeth, and Of the Rings of Power and the Third Age. So each of these deals with a different time period. There's like the creation myth for Lord of the Rings and the other books as well. The Quenta Silmarillion is the longest section, and that is the story about the Silmarillion, which is, the title. The last part, that one is called Of the Rings of Power and the Third Age. This has a lot more to do with Lord of the Rings. And this book does go into characters like Gandalf, Sauron, the Hobbits, but not that much, especially the Hobbits. They're a very tiny bit in this book near the end. So there is quite a bit about the origins of a lot of these characters as well as the races. So there's a lot of information in here. A lot of people go into this thinking, oh, it's another Lord of the Rings novel, but you really shouldn't because it doesn't read like a novel at all. A lot of this is very poetic in a way. It's not like his regular writing. This reads much more like you may read the Bible. It's quite a bit like that. Not the easiest thing to read. However, I find that the way it's written is quite beautiful. It is not the easiest thing to read, but I enjoyed reading it. Also, unlike a novel, you don't really get much action in this. What you get is like a historical account of things that happened. You do get quotes of people. You also have things about what they've been thinking. They get thoughts, quotes, but really not much in the way of action. So it is very different than reading a novel. I find that I can't quite place myself in their situation, like in the setting itself. However, that doesn't really matter because the way it's written is quite beautiful, I think. And I just loved this book. As this can be treated as a kind of reference book as well, we have things like this, which is lineage. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of houses, there's more and more. And we also have a note on pronunciation, although it doesn't go in as much depth as you can find in Lord of the Rings books. You'll find more information in those. It is useful. There's an index of names, and that is huge. Very, very, very long section, index of names. Several pages. Tens of pages. We also have the appendix, which talks about elements in Quenya and Sindarin names. So these are about language. And right at the end, we get maps like this. This is not Middle-earth. Let me just say that. This is before Middle-earth. Things changed. So there are things in here you may not recognize from Lord of the Rings. This is mainly west of that area, but also a lot of the world had changed between Silmarillion and Lord of the Rings. So many details are different. Mountain ranges have moved, rivers have moved, everything is different. If you're interested in finding out more about the history of Lord of the Rings, the Silmarillion is one of the best things you can read. Originally, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, and I would stick with that. I think this is one of the best books I've ever read. That is saying a lot. It is not the easiest book to read. Let me just warn you on that. And if you are expecting a novel, you're going to be surprised. It is not a novel. So, I do highly recommend this, especially for those who love Lord of the Rings. If you found Lord of the Rings difficult to read, this is even more difficult to read. So, if you want a challenge though, you can go ahead and read it. Have you read the Silmarillion? Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of it. I would love to talk about it, as this is one of my favorite books. Also, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. So click right over here to subscribe. Also, right over here are a couple of videos you can check out. This is my previous review, and over here is another recommended video. Thank you for going on this journey to Middle-earth or pre-Middle-earth with me. See you in the next video.